Are you looking to get the Canon RF 15 to 35mm lens? Well, having had the lens for 5 days now, I can attest to how well it performs through the entire focal range with great color accuracy, details, and fast and accurate autofocus. But how well can it vlog? Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Simon. Thanks for tuning in to The Ordinary Filmmaker. If you're new here, subscribe to get notification of new videos like this one so you don't miss any news, rumors, or tutorials. And all the links to everything I talk about in this video, including gear discussed, are placed in the description down below along with my affiliate links. So if you're looking for camera gear and want to help support this channel, consider using my affiliate links to B&H and Amazon, or if you're in Canada, give Patrick a call at Downtown Camera. The Canon 15 to 35 provides a focal range that I've desired for some time, but haven't quite been able to afford. There's always something else that I need, pushing it further down the road. Do you remember back when you were a kid? You put those car posters on your wall, pictures of cars that you dreamed of having someday, and they sparked your imagination, they got you excited. For me, it was the Lamborghini Countach. It has lines unlike anything else on the market before or even at that time. And those gull-wing doors? It looked like it came from another planet. But as an adult, sadly, I know better. You can't see out of the windows properly. Air conditioning is so bad that you'll end up in a pool of your own sweat, sliding out of your seat at the next corner. You can't properly hear the audio system and the wipers don't work, and it feels like you're shifting in a garden tractor. And to top it all off, it's really not that fast. And those aforementioned gull-wing doors? Good luck getting out of the car if someone parks a little bit too close. The opposite can be said for the Canon 15 to 35, which succeeds the EF 16 to 35. This lens stands the test of time. It's hard to find fault with it. It's fast at 2.8 throughout the entire focal range. And while not as fast as the 50mm, it's going to let you get into tighter spaces and allow you to get closer to your subjects and still shoot wide. It provides good solid results for both photographers and videographers equally. You can focus up close and separate the subject from the background, but with an f2.8, you won't get those beautiful blurry backgrounds like you would with the 50mm or the EF 135mm. But focus is fast and accurate. Everything in focus is sharp, color accurate, and detailed. I really do want this lens. And I have nothing below 24mm. I really do like the focal range of the 15 to 35. My wife spent the better part of yesterday making rainbow egg yolk pastries. If you're familiar with mooncake, well, it has a similar taste. She really did start about 2 days ago. This dessert requires multiple days and a good 10 hours or so to make. Multiple stages, you have to do some work, put it in the fridge, let it cool, and, well, it's a long drawn-out process, but everything is made fresh. So when I got up this morning, she showed me her creations. I've never seen such colorful pastries before. I grabbed the R5, put on the 15 to 35, and snapped a few pics, and I also grabbed some video. I thought, what a better way to show off the color and detail of these pastries to her friends over social media. I'm pretty sure that this looks a little bit better than an iPhone 6S, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments section down below. And now, for something completely, utterly silly. How would you like to see me vlog with the 15 to 35? I know. No one in their right mind would vlog with a 15 to 35, the R5 together, and a full-size tripod, would they? Or would they? Just look at how it opens up this trail, and I really love the power of this lens. The 15 to 35 isn't a nightmare, but for vlogging, with the R5, the attached microphone, and of course this tripod that I'm holding on to, makes it to be a bit of a Herculean feat. I'm not going to be shooting for half an hour with this thing. Not in the least, but I'm curious to see how well it works. Digital image stabilization is turned off. I've upgraded this lens to the latest firmware, so it's at 1.0.7, and the R5 is at 1.1. Now, unfortunately, the lighting in here isn't the best, which is why I turned on C-Log, so that we can get more dynamic range. But key things we're looking for in this lens is it wobbling in the corners? Has both firmware updates corrected that wobbling? How is the stabilization? I'm walking not too fast because guess what I did today? I broke my foot. Yeah, the big toe, it's all swollen in. No, I'm not going to show you a sneak peek of it. but it's sore, so I'm not going to be walking very fast. And I guess that's one of the secrets to vlogging with a camera. Even with IBIS, the more smoother you are, the better the results you're going to get. I think the Canon R5 has very, very good IBIS, up to 8 stops with a lens with image stabilization, and the 15 to 35 does have image stabilization. So what do you think? I'm going to go back to the studio, I'm going to take a look. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this lens and some of the other applications I use it for, but this is just purely a vlogging test, and I'm very curious myself to see how this looks, especially when the sun blinds me in the eyes, like it just did there. So the 15 to 35 is on my radar. It is a lens I'm going to get, but I'm not in a rush to get it. I've got the 24 to 1:5, which I think is a great general purpose all-around lens. And of course the 50mm is another terrific lens for both studio and portrait work. It does a really good job for photos and video. I've fallen in love. The 800mm RF lens is just a terrific lens. It's good for wildlife shots. I've shot quite a bit with it over the past couple of days. In fact, since I picked up the 15 to 35 and the 800mm, I've been using the 800mm almost the entire time. I've only used the 15 to 35 when I first got it, and I used it for about half an hour, and then I used it on Saturday for my Q&A video. It was great because I needed to film in a short space, and the 50mm just wasn't wide enough. And then of course, I'm using it here right now. But the 800mm, I call it magical, and I don't say that lightly. It's magical because it's fun. I was able to capture Jupiter last night and the 4 moons, and that's without a teleconverter or a converter on it. It's just terrific. I was also able to capture great moon shots. You see, I'm flustered. This lens has me so excited. I think the 800mm is so terrific. It's so exciting, and it's so much fun, and that's what is so magical about it. But the 15 to 35, it's very serious. It's like a lawyer dressed up in a suit. You don't expect him to crack many jokes or be the life of the party. But if you've got a problem, you expect he's going to take care of it and fix it. Although he's going to charge you a lot of money for the fix. So, as a vlogging lens, fail. And it's not any fault of the lens itself. It's being used for a purpose that doesn't make sense. I think the perfect type of lens for vlogging would be a 16mm or a 15mm lens, and I think it'll do a great job. It could still work on the R5. The R5 isn't too terribly heavy, but this tripod, the one that I'm using, the Amazon Basics, I'd say it's still a bit too heavy for that. Then again, I could use my glide cam. The glide cam, I think it's the 4000 HD Pro or whatever it is. But I don't know, a tripod's always with you. And the setup time needed for one of those glide cams or even a gimbal, no. I'm going to come up with a different apparatus, a different way of testing this, but vlogging is not something I plan on doing a lot. I'm not Camera Conspiracies. I'm not trying to duplicate what Casey does. But I like, it's a tool. It's like anything you do in videography or photography. You've got a tool bag and you put the tools in it to get the job done. And vlogging, well, a tool that I can use is not a tool I choose to use to tell stories most of the time. I've got my in-studio work for mostly news and rumors, and I like shooting outside for my Q&A videos. And to be honest, if I could, I'd shoot outside all the time. But this wraps up the vlogging piece of this review. What do you guys think? How did it perform? And how does the R5 perform in relation to this lens while vlogging? Is the wobbling gone in the corners? How is the stabilization? Do we have any weird artifacts popping up? Let me know in the comments section down below. So as you can see, I picked the same trail as last time, only this time I used C-Log, and I turned off digital stabilization, only using in-body and lens stabilization. I set the picture style to neutral and updated both the lens and camera firmware to address comments about the camera's poor dynamic range, wobble in the corners, and poor lighting. Not that the firmware fixes all those, but some of the other changes should have. Sure, the setting has its challenges. I do this on purpose. We don't want to make things easy for the lens or the camera, do we? Now for vlogging, the R5 and the 15 to 35 really do work so well together, just like ice cream and hot apple pie. Sure, there is a little bit jerking, but not enough to take your eyes off the subject in any way. In fact, I think for a full frame camera of this size, it's quite impressive. I know what you're thinking. vlogging with the R5 and the 15-35 and a tripod is a little bit ridiculous. Kind of like a three-legged country dog heading into the city. But what do you think? Should I get the 15-35 or a 15 or 16 millimeter prime? I really do like the 15-35 and I'm going to get it someday, but I have an awful lot of gear that I need to buy for the channel and for my own personal run and gun work. Next, I really think I'm going to get the 800mm RF lens, and as soon as that thing goes on sale, I'm giving Patrick a call at Downtown Camera. I've just had so much fun with that lens. It's absolutely magical. But I also want to get the 2x extender. Being able to capture Jupiter and the planets is really exciting to me. It's given this camera a new life as a telescope as well. But I also need several Samsung Evo SSDs, a 1TB CF card, and if you add all that up, I can probably get that for just a couple of hundred dollars more than the 15-35. But what would you do if you were me? Let me know in the comments section down below. In this episode of Behind the Scenes, I want to talk to you about what it's like vlogging when there's people around you. Do you feel a sense of shyness or awkwardness as people come towards you? And no, I definitely don't. I don't have a problem with it. If anything, people seem to have a bit of shyness or awkwardness towards me. Why is this guy walking with a camera and a tripod? What's wrong with him? Doesn't he have something better to do? And is he taking my picture or my photo? The biggest thing about having a channel is getting out there, getting videos done, trying different things, and some things work and some things fail. This is not a fail. It's doing a test. I'm testing the lens, I'm testing IBIS, I'm testing dynamic range. Even though this video is about the 15-35. And if you were crazy enough to think of vlogging with the R5, you wouldn't be doing it with a 15-35. You wouldn't be doing it with a tripod. This thing is heavy and my shoulders are about to pop off. But yeah, no, out vlogging in public, I generally don't do it because all the sounds, all the talking knocks me off my point. And so that's why I generally don't do it. And here in the trails, there aren't a lot of people. So if somebody gets caught in the shot once in a while, or there's some talking, no big deal. I can do that scene over again and cut it out. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe for your chance to win the Canon EOS R5. Thanks for watching The Ordinary Filmmaker. We'll see you again soon.